Hi, first of all, good afternoon. I want to thank you all for joining me today here. Safety first, people always. This is the motto that has guided our actions since the first days of the pandemic. I suspect many of the members of my administration may even be tired of hearing it, but I feel compelled to remind all of its importance. Safety first, people always. This is how we must continue to approach the situation, because while we are moving in the right direction, this disease, COVID-19, is still out there. Within your county government, we have implemented a change on a massive scale. We have moved desks, installed barriers, posted more signage than I have ever seen, and overall adapted at a speed previously unknown to government. These physical changes are just a few of the adaptations we have made to continue providing services to residents during the pandemic. I want to take a quick moment to thank those 1,709 employees in Rockland County government who have been working tirelessly and throughout the pandemic. Each of our departments have made incredible contributions in the last few months. Listing them all today would have us here a long time, but rest assured, we have noticed and we appreciate all the work that has been done. As you can see from the sign, we have the sign up in Pomona also that speaks to our gratitude to our workers. Flexible is an adjective not often applied to government, but with improved coordination and communication between our employees, department heads, commissioners, and our unions, we have done amazing work for the people of this county. And now we are ready to take the next step. Tomorrow, Tuesday, June 23rd, we enter Phase 3 of the New York Forward reopening plan. Now with Phase 3 comes many changes. Restaurants can open indoor seating up to 50% of their capacity with social distancing measures put in place. Spas, nail salons, massage parlors can reopen with safety precautions in place. You can even once again get a tattoo or a piercing, and I will state for the record that I will not be one of them who does that. And Phase 3 brings changes for local government as well. On March 16th, the governor issued an executive order which limited local governments of New York to operating with 50% of personnel on site. This was designed to increase social distancing, and while it was effective, it was also very difficult. Practically overnight, we developed and implemented plans so that many of our employees would be able to work from home while continuing to provide residents with critical services. As we enter Phase 3 tomorrow, we are welcoming back many of those employees who have been working from home. Each of our county departments have developed a plan to protect the health and safety of their team members and of any persons that utilize in-person services, along with an overall plan to protect anyone entering one of our buildings. These plans are based on guidance from the CDC, the New York State, and Rockland County Health Departments. Earlier today, we published an update on our website that has the plan in its entirety. But I will take you quickly through some of the key points. Like other industries, we have reopened. Social distancing is a big part of the plan, in offices and also in our common areas. Employees and visitors will notice 6-foot intervals marked off. Face coverings are required to enter our buildings, and they have been for some time by executive order, and they must be worn when unable to maintain 6 feet of distance. Elevators and vehicles are now limited to 50% occupancy. There are additional hand hygiene stations throughout our buildings, and facility management will continue their enhanced cleaning procedures. And I do want to acknowledge that one department for much of the work that people are going to be seeing here. They are giving extra attention to common areas with specific detail to frequently touched services, contact services, doorknobs, handrails, elevator buttons, and interior wall surfaces, exit doors, transaction counters, water fountains, and the like. And if an employee or someone who has visited one of our offices tests positive for COVID-19, all office workspace services they could have possibly come in contact with will also be carefully cleaned. We also have a disinfectant cleaning company on standby for any high transmission occurrences. We are doing everything we can to ensure the health and safety of our employees and those who visit here to avail themselves of county services. There also are new entry screening procedures, which in most buildings will be overseen by building security. I want to thank Lieutenant John Murphy for joining me today on behalf of Sheriff Falco. The Lieutenant oversees building security for the Sheriff's Office, and I want to publicly acknowledge Sheriff Falco and his team and the Lieutenant for all their efforts here to keep us safe. And while we have been screening those who enter our buildings for the last few months, we will be introducing a new procedure tomorrow. Employees and visitors will have to pass through a screening checkpoint. Each person must wear a face covering or a mask. Each person must read and attest to the health check questionnaire, which asks if they have symptoms of COVID-19, have had close contact with someone who is confirmed or suspected to have had COVID-19, and that they themselves have not tested positive for COVID in the last 14 days. Each person will then have their temperature checked, either with the new thermal scanners, which we do have inside, or with the non-contact thermometer. A person with a fever of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or higher will not be admitted to these buildings. If someone does not pass one of these steps, they will be refused entry, but they will be given information for exactly how to proceed. Employees will be asked to return home and contact their supervisor directly. Members of the public will be asked to contact their health care providers. We'll take you inside and out of this heat in a few minutes, and you can see some of these changes close up. But in closing, what we have experienced in the past few months was not only just unexpected, it was unprecedented. We have suffered illness, we have suffered loss, we have suffered worry and anxiety to a level many of us have never previously known. But we have come so far. Together, we have accomplished great things, and we are making progress. We will continue to do so. The precautions put in place here and in other businesses and industries which are reopening are designed to keep you safe. Our strengthened contact tracing program, something we used effectively last year during the measles epidemic, stands ready to investigate any new cases and contact the people and places which may have been exposed, so they can take proactive steps to protect themselves and others, and also interrupt the spread of the virus. These steps include precautionary or mandatory quarantine, depending on the level of contact for each affected person. Or if a specific place, such as a business, it gives them a chance to properly clean and protect the health of their employees and other shoppers and clients. Additionally, and here in Rockland, our departments of planning and health have developed the ability to map any new cases we get. They can do so in almost real time. It is a great tool for us to have to go after any spikes we may see. This gives us a chance to see where the cases are and how they may have interacted, so that we can deploy the resources necessary to help and protect others in those areas, whether that be education, hand sanitizers, or PPE-like masks. But we each have a role to play. We must continue the good habits of social distancing, wearing a face covering if you are near others and cannot maintain a proper distance, and above all, basic hygiene. Using hand sanitizer or washing your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds. So you can see what is expected by government for the private sector applies equally as well to your county organization. These basic steps are what will allow us to continue reopening, and what that safety first, people always motto means. Rockland County has been and remains open for business. And the business is very simple, serving the people of our community.
Yep. Any questions?
Yes, Pat.
Yeah, this might not be within your purview, but how do you expect the social distancing to be implemented within bars?
Speak up.
How do you expect social distancing to be implemented within bars? Say you got a bar that's mostly standing room, and how do you expect that to be implemented?
Okay, if I heard you correctly, you're questioning about being in bars?
Yeah.
Okay, bars and restaurants, they have to submit safety plans, number one. They have to affirm to those plans, number two. They have to have that affirmation and the plan on file, number three. If they are not adhering to that plan, which obviously we know is 6 foot distance, they are in violation of the governor's orders, and they can be sanctioned, they can be fined, or they can be closed. That's just that we have a complaint, we have the pause hotline, and a call there will generate a complaint. The complaint will be followed up, and if those things are in fact happening, they will be sanctioned.
So that would have to be a result of a complaint.
I'm sorry?
That would have to be a result of a complaint.
No, not necessarily. If it was observed, the governor's emergency orders specifically are to be enforced by law enforcement. That's what the exact wording is. So basically, if an officer observes something that was in violation of emergency orders, he or she could certainly take action. Anything else? we're gonna go inside, John?
Yeah, let's head